Chapter 7 is about sport mass media. And this chapter covers the first two segments of the second component of the strategic sport communication model: sport publishing and print sport communication, and electronic and visual sport communication. Though distinct, these two sectors have largely converged in the 21st century sport journalism. Sport publishing is the business or profession of the commercial production and dissemination of information related to sport. Print communication encompasses any medium that disseminates printed matter related to sport. Newspapers are the primary print delivery system examined here, and they remain the biggest and most influential of print sport media. Even so, they have been struggling financially for over 2 decades due to the advent of internet and social media. As technology evolved beyond newspaper and magazine to radio, TV, film, cable, and new technologies, sport coverage also evolved. The ways fans perceive sport evolved too, but sport remains a pastime, a passion, and a vital marketing tool with expansive reach and infinite potential in the economic, social, cultural, legal, and political arenas. Athletes, teams, and leagues use media to promote their sport, products, and brands. The golden age of radio started where the golden age of sport left off in 1930. Radio enables listeners to connect with each other in their homes and in public spaces. Radio still used the words of print journalism but added sound to the mix. This addition meant that fans could hear live commentary from sports announcers, interviews with their favorite players, and crowd noise that enlivened their experience. Today, radio still includes those features, but also has adapted to new technology and consumers' content preferences. Two examples are sport radio and satellite radio. Although print journalism and radio have singular strengths, it is TV, more than any other medium, that has catapulted sport in the mainstream of U.S. culture. It's difficult to fathom a culture without Monday Night Football or the Super Bowl, as well as the technology, spectacle, and celebrity that comes with these events. The three big networks of NBC, ABC, and CBS dominate the airwaves until the advent of sport coverage with ESPN and HBO in the late 1970s and the early 1980s. Today, thousands of stations are available through cable TV and satellite services, which highlights how the electronic media have evolved and matured as times have changed and fans' preferences have fluctuated. ESPN single-handedly made sport a 24-hour addiction, and SportsCenter has a cult following among men and women alike. Because individuals can experience only a finite number of events, they rely on media, especially radio, TV, and cable, to inform them about important people and events in the world. This is also true in the particular arena of sport because we can only attend a finite number of games and events. So we need mass media to be able to tell us what happened and when it happened. If we can't be at a game, we can watch the game highlights on ESPN or on a local TV station, or we can pick up our smartphones and watch the video streams. So let's move on to Chapter 8. Chapter 8 is about digital, mobile, and social media in sport. So we kind of segue a little bit. A couple decades ago, the only way to get sport information was through newspaper, radio, and TV. But with advances in technology, fans are able to get information through websites, video streams, and other social platforms. And that's how the majority of fans want to get their information at this time. Technology increases the rate of growth of sport media and increases the sophisticated levels of communication. The phrase new sport media incorporated two aspects: sport communication and new media. As I mentioned in Chapter 4, sport communication is the process by which people in sport, in a sport setting or through a sport endeavor, share symbols as they create meaning through interaction. The internet allows consumers to be interactive, which makes it a unique communication channel. By going beyond the interactivity limits of traditional media, the internet provides unique tools that help organizations strengthen their relationship with consumers. So it's no longer a one-way communication stream where TV media just gave information and consumers took it in. Now the internet allows fans to communicate back. The rise of social media has made sport fans' use of the internet even more prevalent. The internet and social media have become so popular among sports fans that sports teams and leagues have been forced to make the web more accessible to spectators attending their games for fear of losing revenues due to fans staying home to watch the games on TV while following online. Because there's a lot of people who like to follow their fantasy leagues while they're watching the actual games. So if teams are not making it accessible to use the internet while people are actually at the stadium, then they're not going to go. The advent of the internet also has enabled these fantasy leagues, and there's a lot of participation. So in part, the web has made it easier to organize and participate fantasy leagues. Before, you used to have a bunch of friends get into a room together to decide, who your players are going to be and things like that. Now you can do it through the internet. By the mid-1990s, sport entities began using the internet to communicate with sporting publics. Sport organizations rely on websites to provide immediate communication with both internal and external publics and key stakeholders. To a large extent, sport organizations rely on service when promoting and selling their products, and an effective website can serve as a supplementary service for sport consumers. People's motives vary for acquiring sport-related information online. It's important to determine why people are visiting and using your website. What information are they looking to gain? This will help you to create a better website that's visited more frequently. Several factors are important in your website: content, design, and structure. Content is a primary component of any sport entity's website and is considered a major factor in an individual's decision to return to a website. Sport website content should be selected based on the mission of the sport entity as well as the needs of the key publics. Content should satisfy consumers to get them to return, and there should be a link for consumers to provide feedback so then you can get a sense of what they're looking for if you don't have it available. Equally important is the factor of website design. The main page of a sport website is similar to a paper's front page. Being able to navigate around the website easily and grab the viewer's attention will make it more enjoyable for consumers. Factors to consider are colors, graphics, interactive features, and placement of links. Developing a sound structure enables sport entities to both incorporate necessary elements into the website and enhance the other components of the model for online sport communication. Proper design is integral to any website because it affects user interaction, which is the primary feature that establishes online communication as unique. A website without an effective structure is like a book with unnumbered and unbound pages. To help develop a good website structure, designers should use text that is scannable and include highlighted keywords. These items should be at the heart of website design, along with the organization's mission and the needs of the key publics. Advances in technologies will continue to enhance communication channels and alter the manner in which sport entities communicate with both internal and external publics. Mobile technologies allow sports fans to visit favorite websites, interact with sport organizations, athletes, and other fans via social media outlets. It allows them to download and listen to sport-related podcasts, watch live video streams and video clips, interact through team and league-specific apps, and perform many other functions. Most sport entities now also maintain an official presence on social media outlets like Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Social media is cost-effective and can get information to fans immediately, which fans love. Fans can get instant access to teams and athletes. But there can be drawbacks if teams and athletes aren't careful about what they post. So it's critical for teams and their PR professionals to monitor what people are posting on social media pages and have policies in place to ensure that athletes aren't saying things that are out of character or out of line or out of brand for the organization. Advances in technology are great, but people can get themselves into a lot of trouble if they're not careful. So this very brief overview of chapters 7 and 8. I'm always here to help, so if you have any questions, please reach out to me.